Desire provides the fuel for personal choice or decision making. You want this, that, or the other. It could be anything, from a university qualification or a relationship, to material stuff, success, or power. Avoidance also influences choice, because once bitten, twice shy. The emotional pain of past distress has left scars. You don't want to get caught out again, so this factor impacts decisions. As a means for selecting what you do in life, desire and avoidance add up to a primitive method. And it's emotionally based, which, by now, should be flagging up warning signs. The fix that comes with "I want" can easily become "I want more," possibly heading towards compulsive or even addictive behaviour. Decision-making is further complicated by the monkey do what monkey see of social conditioning. The collective beliefs or wants of the people around you apply considerable pressure to conform, to do more or less what they do. Indulgence is actively encouraged, spurred on by advertisers saying "you're worth it" or "you deserve it." There's also luck or circumstance. Sometimes you just happen to be in the right place at the right time, or the wrong place at the wrong time. You can benefit from knowing the right person, or be badly influenced by the wrong crowd. It's easy to act like a piece of driftwood, being pushed here or there. By following the urges of desire, you become part of the problem, adding to the many dubious influences, affecting others, including those younger than you. Yes, we're animals, but it's all a bit of a saddening mess if you stand back, pausing to think what's going on. We're supposed to be intelligent, civilised, yet my quick analysis suggests backwardness. And what happens when we decide to change our life, to develop our human potential? Contradictions pop up. Acting from desire, tinged with avoidance, etc., doesn't sit well with the pure intention of service before self. There must be a better, smarter way. There is, and it's the 12th of our 16 key factors. Appropriateness and preferences. What we call appropriateness provides a rational, consistent and effective way of operating, in conjunction with what we call preferences. It's an advanced method that's less dependent on the emotional pulls of desire, recognising instead the value of rationally assessing or weighing up all the various options, taking into account any effects on others, avoiding nothing. It can be used for making both short-term and long-term decisions, whereas the usual mechanism of desire tends to focus more on immediate gratification. Appropriateness isn't about being socially adept, fitting in with the crowd, saying the right things, nodding in obedient approval. It goes far deeper than that. It's what Shakespeare was pointing towards when he urged, "Be just and fear not." You do what's rational, whatever needs to be done. It goes beyond the concerns of you and yours, stepping into a much wider world, embracing one for all for one. You're leaving the strategy of selfishness behind, heading towards the way of non-selfishness. You simply do what's genuinely appropriate. What you deem to be appropriate begins with whatever level of meaning and purpose you've chosen, supported by your values and the clarity of your vision for the future. It's also strongly determined by how well you can face reality, plus your thinking skills, beginning with being able to ask pertinent and probing questions. Also crucial is the ability to recognise service before self as an essential key factor for living the best life possible, which means your perspective shifts from "I want" or "I want more" to "need before want." Appropriateness sorts out what is of first and foremost importance. It sets the priorities. It's a less judgmental approach than the narrower right and wrong moralistic way. It relies on logical thinking, which is timeless and unbounded by current social norms, although it's not heartless or sterile. It embraces common sense, which has always been a rare commodity, bizarrely. It's a liberating approach and part of what's required for true fulfilment. So you do your thinking to sort out which is the best or most appropriate course of action to implement. This includes listing any options in order of priority when there's more than one, identifying relevant considerations for each to help with this evaluation. Sometimes there could be a scenario where two choices are genuinely both valid and equal. This is where preference comes into the equation. As there aren't any significant reasons to differentiate or prioritise one option from another, you can now bring in lesser considerations, including which particular path you'd prefer to go down. The outcome will still be best, whichever one is chosen. Usually, however, the preferences bit is reserved or used after the critical or important matters have been dealt with. This part of the operating system offers a less indulgent and non-compulsive form of desire. It permits individual choice when selecting which foods to eat, drinks to drink, clothes to wear, etc., etc., etc. Likes can and do differ within what's appropriate. Years ago, when we managed a medical clinic and other humanitarian projects in Sudan, we brought Sundus, our in-country director, to the UK for discussions about the long-term direction of our work. One day, we were in a supermarket, passing by the biscuit shelves. There was a mother and young child picking up one packet of biscuits after another, struggling to choose which to buy. The range of biscuits on offer was huge. Sundus turned to us and said, "This is why your people don't really care about my people." There's too much choice when it comes to the self-indulgent stuff. Choice is a good thing, but it's gone way too far in the me-first direction. It's part of what blinds us from the more important wider considerations. It's a deliberate distraction, which makes us lesser, poorer. I want dominates, whilst need is usually ignored. We can all eat biscuits and choose between different types. There's nothing wrong with this. But it should be in context. We have to be bigger, much bigger. Psychologically, that is, not through eating too many biscuits. To be crystal clear, preference comes second, after first sorting out what's appropriate. And you can't cheat, fooling yourself, conveniently confusing one for the other. If you do this, your conscience will suffer. You'll be less trustworthy. Still fucked up. Here's a very basic tip or starting point. It's in the form of a question, an example of using inquiry. Is what you're thinking or planning to do going to get you nearer to reaching your highest dream? If the answer's yes, it's likely to be appropriate. But if it's no, it probably won't be. So you now have an alternative to the I want of typical desire. Appropriateness and preferences. It's part of a smarter way. Don't be fooled by the apparent simplicity of this approach, because it takes thinking about, and you must be ever wary not to fool yourself. And it's practical, of course. We've now covered 12 of the 16 key factors, with only 4 more to go. In the next couple of films, we'll take another break from them, instead looking at other important issues. I'll see you again soon.